Where were the Jets ranked as far as offensive line is concerned last year?
Ooh, horrible. What, 33rd was it?
29th.
I think we were like 29th.
29th.
So we
They
were overall
29th,
29th.
okay? Where was the Jets running game ranked?
31st, I believe.
No.
Where were the Jets ranked when it came to catches, yards per catch, and touchdowns? Where were they ranked?
Oh, I'd like
32nd.
no,
And here's what I'm coming at,
No.
okay? Sam Darnold wasn't given anything to work with, especially last year. Now, Sam usually with the quarterback makes everybody around him better. So if you want to blame Sam for that we didn't see any evolution of what Sam Darnold could have been or could be in the future, well, you can say that. There were some glimpses in certain games that Sam Darnold made some plays that were absolutely amazing. But when your number one wide receiver is 5'9", 5'8", okay, in Berrios, who was a walk-on for the New England Patriots, and then the Jets brought him in as a punt returning. He was their number one wide receiver. Denzel Mims missed 5 games in the beginning of the season because of 2 torn hamstrings, okay? You gave him, and Jamison Crowder, who finally had a healthy season, played well in the first half of the season and completely died out in the second half. You can't blame Sam Darnold for that. You blame coaching for that. And to me, I don't think the Jets gave Sam Darnold enough to succeed in New York. Yeah. And I understand what you guys are going to say. You can rip on whatever I'm saying here. What I see as a quarterback, now you put Zach Wilson in the same position. If it's Zach, if it's Justin Fields, I don't care who it is. If you don't put the right people and the right pieces around him, he won't succeed.
Right, you're going to have a repeat. We understand that, Errol. And everyone on this panel understands that. The problem is that we have as many draft picks as we have, and we finally have someone who knows what to do with them. Okay?
Yeah.
When Idzik had 12 draft picks, what happened to them? Mike McCagnon and all of his draft picks. What happened to them? Okay,
30 for 30 on
Sam Darnold was drafted into a toxic situation, and not even the greenest of the green and white goggles that you could wear as a fanboy will change that. Will cover the mirage of what an absolute dumpster fire the New York Jets are currently right now and have been for the past decade. You want to go? You want me to uncork it? I'll uncork it, okay? Starting with Bradway. Wait a second. Starting with Bradway, okay?
CJ's not done.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead and go talk to Mike Tannenbaum. Both great guys outside of the football spot, okay? Very smart guys, okay? What did they do? They squandered those opportunities because they didn't surround the people with the right pieces. And the same thing happened to Idzik. The same thing happened to McCagnon. Why? Because you put people in there that don't know what they're doing. That's what happened.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that, again, what we're talking about is, having the financial responsibility of extending Sam Darnold when what it is that we really are going to need is going to have those resources available to plug all of these holes that we're talking about in other positions. To Chris's point earlier, how many linebackers are we really going to need to bring in? Not just in the draft, but in free agency as well. The money that we're talking about paying Sam Darnold after his 5th-year option and going forward, it's going to be better spent doing other things. And I think Joe Douglas even touched upon it himself as far as a financial reset when it comes to that position. Look, if you heard earlier, you heard all of us kind of give Sam his props for what it is that he has done here. The problem is that what he's done has not been enough for us to justify continuing to keep him here, regardless of the haul that you're actually talking about, getting if we trade at a number 2 pick. And then again, it changes the direction of what it is that we're going to do. Oh yeah, we can add a couple of more wide receivers. We can add a couple of more running backs. We can add a couple of more offensive linemen. But, then what we're talking about is now how many of those draft picks are actually going to end up sticking? How many do we actually have that are going to, end up making an impact here? We don't know. But the fact of the matter is that the quarterback is the most important position in professional sports.
No question.
Period. Like that's it. So what we need to do is we need to address that first. Everything else is gravy, but the gravy ain't no good when your meat's dry. You feel me? So
right, exactly. Otherwise, we're going to end up like the Detroit Lions.